Hi there, right, I don't know about you guys, but I hate Christmas with a vengeance, but I couldn't let the season pass without making a video, so I thought I'd share with you my small collection of Christmassy horror films. So first up, this is Black Christmas. Now, this is the UK DVD of the original version, which is one of the horror films that inspired John Carpenter to make Halloween, the other one being, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but anyway. Now, this is basically about some killer lurking in this sorority house on a college campus, bumping off the girls there. It's not a bad movie. It's got Margot Kidder in it, who went on to appear in those Superman films with Christopher Reeve, and also Olivia Hussey, who was in Psycho 4, as well as horror veteran John Saxon, who makes an appearance as a police detective. Now, this was a special edition released by Tartan, who are now sadly defunct, but you can still pick this one up if you look round. It's got a director's commentary track, trailers, alternate opening titles, and a couple of making-of specials on here. Now, there is a bare-bones version of this out from Metrodome, if you're not bothered about extras, but otherwise I say seek this version out. Now, there was actually a Canadian DVD of this out a few years back which had an additional audio commentary track on it, but that version is now out of print and very hard to get hold of. In fact, the last time I checked, the current Canadian version doesn't contain any audio tracks on it at all, which is a shame, but anyway, look out for this one. Now, they did actually do a remake of this a few years back, which you may remember. I have a screener disc here, but I've yet to upgrade to the full version, as to be quite honest with you, I thought it was pretty dreadful. The remake didn't really have that much to do with the original, apart from the fact that it was set in a sorority house. Plus, I thought they sort of balls things up, as there was a twist at the end in that there were two killers, but we already knew that, as the first murder takes place during the intro, while the film's main killer is still in jail, so I think that was a bit of a blunder on the filmmaker's part, so I'd say don't bother with that and stick to the original if I were you. Anyway, next up, Christmas Evil. This was the first of many Christmas horrors about a killer Santa Claus. It's a very odd sort of film about some guy whose mind was warped when he was a young man, when he came downstairs one Christmas Eve and saw his mother doing much more than just kissing Santa Claus, shall we say. Anyway, set many years later, he flips out one Christmas Eve, dresses up as Santa and starts stealing toys from the bad kids to give them to the local orphanage. Then he goes and kills a load of people that he feels have been naughty. The film did have a lot of potential, but it was a bit too slow, that I thought. It seemed far too long to take going, and, far too long for the guy to snap and start killing people. There's also a very bizarre ending, as he's being chased around some suburb of New York by angry locals who are all carrying burning torches, but I'm not really sure that sort of thing went on in 1980s New York, but anyway. This is US DVD by Synapse, which has got two audio commentary tracks on here, excerpts from the audition tape footage and deleted scenes. There's also a very good review of this film on YouTube, posted by YouTube user Watercooler, which I think you should check out. But anyway, moving on. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, this is the US DVD from Anchor Bay. This is one of the more notorious Christmas horrors, as not only did it get very heavily censored by the US Ratings Board on its original release, but it then got targeted by an angry hate campaign led by parents and morality groups who actually picketed cinemas and managed to get the distributors to pull the film from release after only a fortnight. Now, this one's about another killer Santa Claus. Basically, some young lad sees his parents get carjacked and murdered by a bank robber in a Santa suit. Anyway, he grows up in an orphanage, then years later they get him a job in a bloody toy shop of all places, so you can sort of imagine what happens come December time. Basically, he snaps, dons a Santa suit and goes on a rampage. This is the uncut restored version. This has also been released as a double pack with the second film, but I think they're both out of print now. Now, this version's got an audio interview with the director, featuring about all the press up that got the film withdrawn and a poster gallery on it. They did actually go on to make another 4 films in this series, believe it or not, which I've yet to see. You can pick this one up uncut in the UK now from Arrow Film, which is probably easier to get hold of, because I think this has been out of print for a while. But, yeah, I'd say this is one of the better Xmas horrors. Scream Queen Linnea Quigley has a small role in this as one of the victims, who has a very nice death scene as she's impaled on a pair of antlers which protrude out of her... well, you get the idea. But, yeah, if you get the chance, pick this one up. Anyway... Now this is Don't Open Till Christmas. Now I've had to censor the front cover here so as not to upset YouTube, who are a bit funny about semi-naked women, but this is actually the German DVD from XT Video. This is probably one of the more bizarre Christmas horrors, as the killer in this isn't a Santa Claus, it's a guy who's going around killing off people who are dressed as Santa. Now, it's quite bizarre for many reasons. It's actually a British film and was written and directed by Edward Purdom, who also plays the lead role in this. You might have heard of him as he was in a lot of Euro horror films back in the day, and he played the priest in Absurd with George Eastman. Now, this was a very troubled production, which becomes evident as you go to watch it. Basically, Purdom fell out with the producers and walked off set partway through filming, so then they had to go back and reshoot a load of the scenes with some of the supporting actors to fill in for him. Also, virtually every kill scene in this was either reshot or had additional footage put in to make it gorier, which as a result, the UK censors took a very dim view of and cut all the gore back out again for its UK release here. Now, the film has since been reissued uncut, but it is rather difficult to get hold of as it's been out of print for a while. Also, I did hear that the last UK DVD release was missing a scene, and they had some other scenes moved around, although I'm not sure why. Now, there was an uncut US disc, which again is hard to get hold of, hence why I have the German version here. If you can get hold of it, I'd say this is definitely worth a watch, as despite its failings, there's a few good kill scenes in here, with one Santa getting roasted over an open fire, and another scene involving a cut-rope razor in a public lavatory, which is bound to make all the male viewers cringe, but strangely, Caroline Munro turns up in this as a singer, which is kind of odd, and also Kevin Lloyd, who, if you're old enough to remember, used to play Tosh Lyons in The Bill, also has a role in this as a smutty photographer. It's not brilliant, but I'd say it is worth checking out. Cinema Snod on YouTube did do quite a funny review on this the other year, which you should check out. I'm not sure if it's still online, but it should be on his website if you do a search. There was also a documentary filmed about this entitled The Making of a Horror Film. This disc does have an excerpt from it, but it only shows about the first 5 minutes or so. I don't think the documentary is available anywhere, but I have seen it posted online, so if you get a chance, try checking out the documentary as well. Okay, next up we have one of my favourite Christmas horrors. This is Santa's Sleigh. Oh yes, former WWF wrestler Bill Goldberg stars as a demonic Santa Claus who goes around killing people. Now the film's absolutely hilarious. There are trailers of this on YouTube if you want to check it out, but it starts with a scene of him massacring a family on Christmas Eve, which is made up of James Caan, Fran Dresser and Rebecca Gayheart, and the film sort of goes on from there. Now, this is arguably my favourite festive horror film. It's very funny, there's some great gags and kill scenes in this. Now, this is the UK disc, which is the same as the US release in terms of extras. It's got a number of making of documentaries, deleted scenes, and a blooper reel, so if you want to get something to frighten off Grandma after Christmas dinner, then this is definitely the one to get. It's hilarious. Okay, a couple more films. Now, this is Jack Frost, which should not be confused with the thoroughly innocent Michael Keaton film of the same name. Not sure if you can see that. It's got a lenticular sleeve on, but obviously this is the old US video which a mate of mine gave to me. Sees him warping from a cute snowman into an evil one. But this one, instead of a killer Santa, he's got a killer snowman in. I've yet to upgrade to the DVD, but this film really is one of the so bad it's good sort of films. Basically, it's about a serial killer who gets reincarnated as a snowman and then goes on the rampage in this town, so you can sort of imagine what you're in for. It's very low budget, very corny and very cheesy, but it is bloody good fun. There's a hilarious scene where Jack pops up in a bathtub and kills Shannon Elizabeth, who you probably know from those American Pie films. I won't go into too much detail as to how he kills her, but let's just say the carrot from his nose was missing during that scene, so make of that what you will. There is a sequel, Jack Frost 2, which I do have, but it's on a DVD-R copy, as I taped it off the TV a while back. But basically in that film, Jack finds he can freeze himself regardless of how warm it is, so he follows the cast of the first film to this holiday resort on this Caribbean island and goes on the rampage the following Christmas. Both films are pretty daft, and there are some hilarious scenes, you know, in there, particularly in the second film where people are being chased around by these mutant killer snowballs, but again, both films are bloody good fun. I recommend both Jack Frost movies, but if you're going to get them on DVD, then get the US DVD of Jack Frost 2, as that version's uncut. Some Region 2 releases, like the UK and German discs, are both cut versions for some strange reason, but if you get the US DVD, that's the uncut version, so go for that one. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. There are, of course, other seasonal slashers out there, but these are some of the better ones to look out for. Please rate and comment, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. Also, be sure to check out my website, link to which is below, and, of course, please view my other YouTube videos. So anyway, till next time.
If I ain't drunk, it ain't Christmas. So leave this goddamn Scrooge the fuck alone. Ha! Merry fucking Christmas!